Okay, so here is a little video of what a jelly plate is, what you can do with it, etc. This is the jelly plate that I have. I've got some other used ones. This is a new one. And before I show you how to do it, these are just some examples of background prints that I've done. And I'm going to do some further stamping on them. These might be made into a little book. So this is just some examples of textures, backgrounds that I did with jelly plate printing. Okay, you can make them into little cards. This could be an artist trading card. And you could be put onto a greeting card. Here's some more book backgrounds. Here are some larger prints, just 5x7s that I did with actual leaves, so you can sort of see the leaf outlines. You never quite know exactly what you're going to come up with, and that's part of the fun of all of it. It's always a surprise. So a couple more leaf prints. I had a lot of fun with those. So to get started, this is the jelly plate. It comes in this little clamshell. Keep the clamshell because you can use it for storing the jelly plate. It protects it. And here it is. So it's clear. It comes with a protective plastic sheet. And you can take these off. I really suggest putting a piece of tape on this. Just as an example, you might use just a little piece of masking tape or washi tape. And this way you can find this sheet later on. It absolutely disappears otherwise. Okay, so there's that. And there's another one on the back. You pull those off. And I like to put mine on just a piece of plexiglass. And that gives it a little more structure. Okay, and it just sticks beautifully to the plexiglass. So I'm going to be using golden paints. I love these paints. You can use any kind of paint, any acrylic. Some people have also used alcohol inks, watercolor paints. So you can really experiment, but the acrylic paints are really perfect for this. You can print on regular, this is photo paper, printer paper is great. I also love to print on thin tissue paper. These are perfect for collage afterwards. So I'm going to start with the printer paper. And to get started, you just put a little bit of your paint, just a couple of dabs of it onto your plate. That looks like a lot, but it's pretty, that's pretty fluid there. Okay. And I like to mix colors. I generally try to definitely keep opposite colors like blue and orange separate. But colors that mix well, like a primary yellow and blue, work really, really well. So I'm just going to start spreading this out. And you can see some paints are thicker, some are more fluid. And I just like to really mix it up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to take another piece of paper and I just roll it off. with my brayer. This is sort of cleaning the brayer, but so now the paint is off the brayer. After this builds up, this could be used for beautiful pieces of art. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is simply a background. So I'm going to put my paper down, rub it around, and that is a perfect start. That's gorgeous. There's your beginning. Okay, I have a little bit of paint left on the Gelli plate. That's totally fine. I can end up with some nice little extra texture there too. I'm going to try a different color here. A couple of drops, a few dots. Whoops, that's way too much. I think that's going to be pretty thick, so I'm going to see how that goes. And a little bit of white. And I'm going to run this back and forth here a little bit. It might work out just fine. And again, I'm just going to brayer that off. Okay. This time I'm going to make some textures. I'm using drywall tape here. I think I'm going to use this as an actual stencil. I'm going to leave this on and let that just sit there. Taking a little sponge dauber, drawing some circles, picking that paint up. Okay, let's just see what that looks like. You know, I think I'm going to actually put another stencil over this. So we'll see how that looks. And then I want to rub enough to get down in between those spaces on the stencil so I can pick up the paint. Okay, you can pick it up a little. Ooh, okay, there we go. So that's fun. And then, but wait, there's more. You take off the stencils. And now you do what's called a ghost print. And a ghost print is simply taking a second pull, a second print, with what's left on the plate. And a lot of times the ghost print is more interesting. It's a little more subtle than the first one. So there is a ghost print. You still have all of those textures. So we've got a couple of prints going here. And let's see, I'm going to throw some blue. And again, we've got this beautiful paint that's left over, and I'm leaving that there. I think some blue and yellow. Good. Roll it off. And this time I think I'm just going to, let's see. It really is just a matter of experimenting. See what happens. cool. I'm going to do this on the tissue paper. The tissue paper obviously can get down into those crevices a little bit more. The holes in your stencils. Okay, and that's a great start for that. And pull that off. And I'm going to use this layer on top of this stencil here. So you just keep layering, keep playing with it. And I still have a little bit more left, and I'm going to just try to pick this up onto the tissue paper. Okay, there's that. And maybe if this is dry enough, if you can let this dry completely, and I'm not sure that it's dry enough, I'm going to put some white over the whole surface. And it might pick up this blue really nicely. We shall see. It might not be quite enough white, but yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, that sort of toned that down really nicely. A little more, and I think that will be enough for a sample of what you can do. That one is really starting to get some nice interest to it. So, just in a couple of minutes, we've ended up with 3 different, very different backgrounds. And again, you can make these into greeting cards. You could collage with them. Just have fun. All right, see you later.